Hello friends. Now let us take up the concept number 9 to A.9. Writing a program with two sections. In the previous concepts, we mainly focused on declaration section and output section. And we learned formatting output also. So let us first crystallize this knowledge before studying remaining sections. This is always a good habit for a programmer. Whatever elements you learn, first thing is you crystallize that knowledge, you own them. Thereafter, you proceed to the next unit. For that, some integrity is required. Only with the declaration section you cannot do anything. Whatever variables you declare in the declaration section should be written as output and all that. Then only one integrity will be there. That's why so far I explained all the elements regarding declaration section and output section, including formatting the output section. So with this knowledge, let us write a solid program. I request you all, I explained every element. However, I am giving the program also. Don't look at my program. Definitely you do that. Otherwise, if you want, 2 or 3 times you refer the previous elements. Nothing wrong. Actually, you take it as your own test, self-testing, self-appraisal. So without seeing my program, now I explain every concept. With this, by watching this concept, thereafter you try to write. Don't see my code. So if you are able to do that, means whatever you learned so far in this chapter and previous chapter also, it is assumed as you have perfect knowledge over that. In this way, you test your knowledge and proceed. Without testing, you should not trust that you learned. Test and trust, that is always a good policy. And now, as I told you, whatever output you are expecting from a program, first write. That means you are 100% clear about your destination. In real life or in programming, you should have 100% clarity about your task, your destination. Thereafter, you can start your efforts to achieve that. That same principle apply here. This is the program and this is the output you are expecting from your program with reference to this output, and now you write your program. In order to enable you to write a program without any confusion, without any complexity, I have given a simple checklist, and first get answers for that checklist. What is a checklist? How many variables? How many variables are required? The simple answer is how many data items are there, that many variables are required. That's why you have to identify how many data items are there in the program, or otherwise how many variables are required in the program, that we have to find out. And in this case, for beginners, one confusion is there. They may not distinguish between title or caption and the data. That is very vital. Otherwise, if you cannot identify which is caption, which is data, you cannot count a number of data items properly. So in this thing, what is caption, what is data? Name is the caption. This row is captions, and these are data items. Why we are giving captions? Captions improves the readability. Suppose now your marks are there. There are 5 papers: 45, 52, 63, 71, 82. Those are the marks. If I give the marks simply, I have given, I listed out 5 marks. Now readability is missing. In which paper how many marks you got you cannot know. Overall in 5 paper marks you got. So for that purpose you give like this. This is English, this is Hindi, this is maths, this is science, like that you give the captions. Then only you can know that. Now here we are giving the data items. Then corresponding captions also we have written in the upper line. By that we are able to understand what are these data items. Understand? So these are captions and these are data items. So how many data items are there in this? 5 data items are there. So how many variables are required? Each data item should be stored in a variable. What is variable? Variable is a memory container. In the memory container we store the data. That's why how many variables are required? 5 numbers. First question is answered. Thereafter, what are their types? What are their types? Data types. Types means the corresponding appropriate type. Already told what is the appropriate type in real life. For serving water, a tumbler is the appropriate type container. For serving tiffin, a plate is the appropriate container. In the same manner, depending on the nature of the data, size of the data, we have to choose the right data type. So far I have explained only 3 data types: integer, floating point and char. Those are represented as int, float and char respectively. Now you see, first one A, name A. I told you already, right now we cannot write strings like Ramesh, Umesh, like that names you cannot write. Time being, you take you take as a single character wherever name is there. In the previous program also item name means I have taken a single character. So time being we have certain limitations and all that. That's why, because just it is the beginning, that's why for the sake of names you take single character, any character. Now the first one is char, is the appropriate type. Next one, uh, number. What is that? Class number. Class number obviously always it is integer, because it is a whole number: 10th class, 11th class, 9th class, 12th class, etc. and all that. Thereafter, roll number, that is also int. Roll number is always a whole number, because there is no 45.5, 5.6 like that and all that. Always a whole number. That's why it is also int. Height, as I told you many times and all that, its nature is fractional. That's why we must declare it is a float. Accuracy is required. Your height always, if you tell 5 and all that, until you reach 6 feet, you should tell only 5. In age wise it is okay, by matter of practice. You are now 21 years, until another 1 year you express it as 21 only. But in the case of height it is ridiculous. That's why always we have to declare height as a float. In the name same manner, weight also. Okay, so what are the appropriate types for 5 variables? Char, int, float respectively. Next, what are the names? This is also, actually don't take it lightly. Actually here small names you are using and all that. However, giving names, giving complete name is not a problem at all. But only thing is shorter names. Sometimes the name should express a bigger meaning. Then giving name is not so easy. These are, for these all these names, 1 or 2 words are enough. So it is comparatively easy. But sometimes actually in a multi-storied building, 5th floor, for square feet, profit margin, you have to, for profit margin you have to write a variable. Then it is not so simple to express profit margin percentage 6th floor SFT. This many terms should be included in variable name. If you exclude one or two and all that, it is not self-explanatory, it is not meaningful, and you have to through a comment you have to express. So that's why whatever we are discussing just a beginning, later in advanced concepts and all that, you extend your knowledge automatically, continuously you work and all that, you get new ideas, automatically you get a proficiency over the elements. So time being, understand the culture or conventions to give the name. That's why what names you have to give. Name, there is no shorter form, so name should be expressed as a name only, then only people can understand. Thereafter class. Class, actually class means obviously you write as a class, but there is a technical problem here. What is the technical problem? Certain every language including C reserves certain words, certain terms, those are called keywords. Already I introduced some keywords. C reserved 32 keywords. Out of that, 4 keywords I introduced. What is that? One is void, second one is char, third one is int, fourth one is float. Actually these were reserved by the C language with a specific meaning and specific purpose. You must use them for that purpose only. If you use them for any other purpose with a different meaning and all that, it leads to error. It leads to a syntax error. For example, now you see int is there. Int is meant for integer type, integer data type. Somewhere in a program you have to calculate interest, means simple interest, compound interest. For that interest, if you write int and all that, you are violating the rule. That means a language has given a specific meaning for int, but you are using for different purpose, then it leads to error. That's why always remember these keywords gradually. Overnight I cannot express it to you, explain all the keywords to you. Contextually and purposefully we explain, so you understand their meaning and purpose. So you should not use them in some other purpose, you should not give different meaning to that. Here one more thing also you have to remember. Actually now we are working on C programs. Actually for C and C++, one compiler is being used. C and C++, only single compiler is normally being used, because C is subset of C++. So you should take care of not only C keywords, you should take care of C++ keywords also. Now you may get a doubt, how can I know, sir? Now I am studying C. How can you expect that I can know C++ keywords? That is immaterial. Whether you know or not, you must strictly abide by that. One thing I am telling you, being a citizen of India, not less than 100 laws or more than that are applicable to you. You do not know which laws are applicable to you, but ignorance of law is an offense. Okay, ignorance of law has no excuse at all. Understand? In the same manner, in programming also, I do not know thing will not do. Whatever the relevant things you require to know, you must know that. So this class is the keyword of C++, not C. C. That's why class as it is, you should not use. Class with this spelling, with this case, you should not use. Then you may get a doubt. It is case sensitive language. As this is a C is a case sensitive language, can I use uppercase? Okay, you can use technically, that is okay. But only thing is, it is not a good practice. For the sake of differentiation, changing case is not a good practice. So what is the better practice? Okay. By this, there are two benefits. You are not violating the rule, And second, number two is you are drawing the attention of the reader who reads. He immediately focuses on that. Why you have given different spelling? Here, as a string, you have written class only. As a variable name, why you are using different spelling? Then you can draw his attention towards this. That's why these are very few. Don't confuse. Don't develop any diffidence towards this.